Okay, guys, we are live. It is Tuesday night. The boys are back in town. New Year, dreams. We're all on the train, the Anfield train, the Express, and we have dreams to make, guys. In the house, Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter and Ivan at Ivan Jennings on Twitter, joining me for a little chat about the Reds. How are you, boys?
Good. New Year, same ugly faces.
Another year closer to the grave.
Jesus Christ. We're actually gonna really make this a lovely relaxing chat tonight. You know, we're gonna just upbeat chat because a lot to talk about. The lads, I haven't been on with the lads now since Christmas. Hope he's all had a good Christmas and hope he's all have a good New Year and hope this COVID craziness, Omicron or Deltacron or Megatron or whatever his name is, goes away. So the weekend, the FA Cup. Do you know what? I'll tell you what stood out for me. That young lad, Katie Gordon. Do you not think that goal that he got was like a Mosalah finish? The touch of the turn. The real Mosalah type goal for 17. Keith, he has. I mean, the sky's the limit for him. Keep his head on his shoulders, I suppose, but
yeah, it's
sky's the limit, isn't it?
By all accounts, he looks to be he seems to be a very driven kind of an individual. I saw a couple of, I suppose, kind of reports. I don't know, it was in the Athletic or something, and they were talking to his brother and some other people who were quite close to him, to be honest with you. And he just seems to be very, very focused on what he wants to achieve. He's had a couple of chances now, hasn't he? He's had a couple of chances now and just hasn't managed to get that goal. I think that goal was massive for him. You know, I think if he hadn't scored the weekend, you know, I'm sure he would have been building the pressure, would have been building on himself personally, because he's had a good few chances in front of goal without necessarily putting stuff away. Now, listen, he's 17 years of age, right? You know,
what were you doing at 17? You know what I mean? Scoring in front of the
No, I played centre half, as you know, Dave. So scoring goals wasn't. Then again, stopping goals wasn't good for me either. So it didn't. But like, listen, nothing seems to faze him. He seems to be really good. Listen, you never know with these lads, do you? You really don't know. He's been thrown in at the deep end on a couple of occasions, so there's obviously a huge amount of faith in his ability in the club. I know Derby obviously, you know, spoke very highly of him, to be honest with you, everybody at Derby. So, you know, has been a real kind of a prospect for the future. So he's got his goal, he's got his senior goal there. Took it, as you said, really, really well. But his general play all around, I thought was quite good, to be honest with you. He didn't look out of place, and out of all the players, I suppose the younger kids who were on there, he certainly stood out, to be honest with you. You know, because he was doing well out wide, then back in towards the centre, and again his touch and finish was phenomenal. You know, and he seems to get himself into really good positions. He seems to be thereabouts. He's only 17, so you know we're going to have him some time. But what he does look like he knows where to get himself. And as a player, we don't have at the moment. In some scenarios, you know, Shrewsbury played quite defensive, quite packed, and obviously not as well drilled as other teams in the Premier League. But he found that yard of space in the box, you know, and put it away in really good fashion. So
I think he has a bit of an X factor about him. There's something, him and Elliot, there's something. And that young guy, Tyler Martin, Ivan, he looks a proper player, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd call out the two lads, like not taking away from your man, Kay Gordon, he's superb. Tyler Martin and Connor Bradley, I think it's just an absolutely smashing footballer. And I think when you look at them, like they're still boys in every sense. They're skinny little lads, right? But I think what's benefiting them is they've all gone out on loan and they've played in the Championship or League One. The game on Sunday, whilst the quality wasn't there in Shrewsbury, they were all men. They were all 26, 27, 28.
Yeah.
And they weren't holding back in tackles, you know. So to me, it's the physical piece that they're benefiting from going out on loan and playing. And the other thing, probably the most important thing, is when they're coming into the team, the under-8s play the same as the under-15s, 18s, 23 seniors. So when they're put into a position, they know exactly how they should be performing. And I don't think you can overstate how big that is when you have a club that has a philosophy from the youngest players there right the way up to the seniors. It's so beneficial. But lots of bright lights. Your man Bradley, for me, I don't know what it is about Rifle. He just looks a player, and I think he's played 15 times for Northern Ireland, which is just phenomenal.
Which will give him, which is great experience, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Just brilliant.
I mean, it really is. And I was something the other day about the academy. The amount of academy players coming through for one of the top clubs is really unbelievable for Liverpool. Now, it doesn't mean they're all going to make it. I mean, even Katie Gordon, you still have 2 or 3 steps to make.
Oh yeah, like it's a
steps,
funnel.
I mean?
It's like that kind of innovation funnel where lots go in,
Yeah,
but only
pop
one or
in the
two
hopper.
pop out, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. Look at the keeper as well. I read a really good article about him. He's 23 now.
Keller.
Is he ever going to get a chance at Liverpool? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he ever going to get a real chance? As good as he is.
I think, well, what do you do? I mean, he's at one of the best clubs in the world. We'll say the best team in the world. He's Champions League football almost every year. Fighting for the league every year. I mean, it's really
he's never going to be number one. Boyle
Alisson. Other than a bad injury or something to Alisson, you know what I mean? He's never going to be number one. But you always need a good backup goalkeeper. And a lot of people don't like Adrian and certainly don't like Karius. I know there's another young lad, Petulug, I think his name is, coming up through. But he's not ready yet. But the only thing I like about Keller is he doesn't moan, and that's the reason he'll have longevity at Liverpool. He'd be on a good wage. What do you want to do? Do you want to move? Unless a Premier League team comes into him, do you want to play in the Championship? Rough and tumble. What do you want to do? But the only thing for him is to play for Ireland. He probably needs to play more for his international career.
Ahead of him,
Bazuma is Gavin Bazuma. He's on loan from City to Portsmouth.
Is he what 4 years? Was he 19? Is he 4 years?
He's only 19. He's only 19.
Listen, the thing about a 23-year-old, although we say like we're looking at it in terms of every other position on the pitch, 23 years of age is you're kind of approaching. For a goalkeeper, you've got more time, right? You're not really expected. Probably rare to have a 23-year-old goalkeeper as number one in the Premier League at that age, right? Now, will Alisson always be with us? Will he want to go home? Will he want to move? You know what I mean? So there's no guarantee with the Brazilian. So I think he can keep his powder dry for another season or so and see what develops. To be honest with you, and see what his roadmap is. But he's not going to go past 24, 25. I don't think, without guaranteed first team football.
Because he's a smashing footballer.
He's a good keeper.
He's a good keeper. Distribution is absolutely
great with his feet. Good feet.
Really, really good.
And it doesn't look phased, to be honest with you. Doesn't look phased at all now, and hasn't let us down in any games. I don't think.
No, and brave as well. There's a couple there at the weekend, corners and crosses coming in where he didn't catch. He came out and punched, and he just commanded it. I don't think he's the tallest, but he's brave.
He's 6 foot anyway. Is he 6'1", something like that? I mean, he's got John Ochterberg there, who's obviously his coach, and Taffarel came in for the Brazilian, the legendary Brazilian goalkeeper came in recently. And I read an article John did with James Pearce saying that Liverpool, because of the new Brexit rule, because England left the EU, they have to be careful with bringing in, foreign goalkeepers type of thing. They have to try to get homegrown goalkeepers or players that are at the club 5-6 years become homegrown. You know, that rule type of thing. So I think they have to do that for players full stop. You know what I mean? That's the new rule. Yeah. So I think you'll see a lot more of that in the Premier League because of the Brexit rule. People forgot about that when England left, that there was a change.
I think we're in a good position, to be honest with you, in the goalkeeping front. If he wasn't Irish, we probably wouldn't be having the conversation about wanting him to go on and be something else. So
no, I'm saying I'm happy, and I think he's happy. That's the good thing for us. Yeah. You never hear him moaning, you never hear him groaning. Looks happy, gets on with all the lads. That's important. I'm sure he gets on with Alisson and even Adrian and all the other lads. They all seem like a little unit. They're all the little goalkeeping department there. And 6'2", someone's saying Kelleher is there. He is.
Wow.
Yeah, he's nearly as big as you, Ivan. Cheers. But I mean, like that's the thing. But Liz Golden, like and share the stream. She is on the button. Liz from sunny Florida. Thank you very much. You know what to do, guys. Okay, so we move on. We got Cardiff in the next round with Anfield. I think that's a good draw for us. Another home tie against, lower league team. Obviously, championship side Cardiff. They were a Premier League team at one stage, but I think even with a sort of a resting 3 or 4 players, you should be too good for them. Yeah,
I just felt there was some really, there was a very strong contrast between pretty much every other team in the Premier League, what they put out compared to what we put out the weekend at that level of the FA Cup. So everybody around us went, to a degree, very, very strong, to be honest with you. Yeah. Now, I know we had some issues and all that kind of stuff going on. But we certainly didn't go as strong as we could have. And take it for granted it was Shrewsbury, but no offense. But, we went very, very, I suppose, weak compared to every other team in the Premier League. So it's just very interesting, the contrast and approach that we took to the competition as opposed to everybody else.
Is that Keith? Is that risk on Klopp's part, or does he not value it? Because I read a really good article that Carragher did in the Telegraph around, you know, when like the league is City's to lose now. I would say, right?
Yeah, 100%.
No, I'm not saying we're out of it by any stretch, not by any stretch. But the article was about Chelsea over the last 10 years or so, where they've won a couple of premierships, but they've also pivoted to the cups when the league wasn't
the league was over.
achievable.
Yeah.
And you know, when you look back at it, they've got a volume of trophies. Where if we were to look back on us now, we've got the Champions League and the Premier League now. I know we've got the others, the World Cup and the Super Cup and whatever. Should we be focusing on the FA Cup? Do you know what I mean? Should we be trying to win it? I think we should. And I think we should be going for the Carabao as well.
I think it fosters a winning mentality. I think the more that you win, the more you will win, to be honest with you. And I think you should be chipping away at something. So listen, we're not going to write off, and we're still in there. Obviously, we're still in for the big trophies, you know, Champions League. And no matter what way you look at it, you know, through the recruitment policy and the lack of recruitment policy, we bought a load of players who seem to pick up niggles left, right, and centre. Right, that's a recruitment issue. You know, we've known the players and we've brought them in. And I don't think we've strengthened up in numerous, you know, in numerous positions where we possibly should have, to be honest with you. So, and then we're trying to look at the domestics as being a way for us to rest players and allow players recuperate to go back for the major competitions. Now, we just need to argue the point whether or not we think that's a good strategy for the football club or a bad strategy for the football club. You know, I'm all right. I think you're right, Ivan. This particular year, when we're into a semi-final of a domestic competition, we've had two good runs. I suppose two good home, you know, draws in the FA Cup. A lot of Premier League one-on-one draws with a lot of Premier League teams going out. You know, it's a narrowing funnel, I suppose, or a narrowing panel in terms of teams who could actually go and win it. And you know, winning breeds winning, to be honest with you. So we should be hedging our bets on at least one of the domestic cup competitions as a way for us to win something, to be honest with you. That's my take on it. You know, when we look at the season where, you know, we won the league and we were, you know, fortunate with injuries, it didn't stop us going full tilt with the best players we had available for the majority of that season. You know, it was only last season when we had injuries and stuff that we started to kind of change the mentality in terms of resting players and looking after players. We didn't really do it the season we won it. We just went full tilt, you know. So there's a couple of strange things going on at the moment around the football club, you know, particularly around the last couple of windows that we haven't reinforced, you know.
Yeah.
And then I know at some point in time I wouldn't mind having a conversation about should we be looking to evolve the formation, you know, based around what we have in the middle three to a 4-2-3-1 and look to reinforce out wide, whether it's go for a Diaz or go for somebody else like that. Allow yourself more competition across the front three. You know, we've got some options there at 9, to be honest with you, and then take off the pressure in the central three by either going Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, Fabinho, you know, Milner even in that position. So I don't know. It's just there's some strange decisions look to be made around, like the fact that there's no noise around us even looking to strengthen this window. It doesn't look like we are going to strengthen this window. We're going to follow through where we are. So like, I don't know.
Look,
I'm slightly off topic there, lads. I just think it's...
No, you're okay. But we've talked about transfers loads of times and FSG policy on buying players and signing players and contract. We got a lot of contracts tied down in the last, say, 9 months. We still have the big one, like the Mosalah one. You know, there's a lot of talk about that. Mane hasn't signed. Bobby No Look hasn't signed. There's still big contracts there. And that's the front three, lads. That's the three amigos. The famous three amigos that you could arguably say got us the Champions League, got us the Premier League. Okay, it was the other players as well, of course, but they were the pivot. They were the boys at the front scoring the goals. They're the ones that were getting the people into the stadiums, buying the merchandise, you know. And the Salah thing is starting to get a little messy now, to be fair. I know there's a lot of talk about it today. We don't know whether that's fresh talk, new talk. There's a GQ magazine chat with Mo, but I can't imagine. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
It has to be a timing thing to me, to be honest. It has to be. There's just no way in the world they're gonna let his contract run down, let his price tag run down, and have him walk away. It's not going to happen.
Like, is it some sort of ploy in the summer to sign him back up in the summer and say that's our fucking marquee signing because we've got him signed up for a couple of years and it just deflects away from no investment in the club? There is no reason why that should not be done and dusted, to be honest with you. He's arguably, he is the best player in the world at the moment, and he wants to stay and he wants to sign a new contract. It's interesting. He said he's not looking for crazy money.
Seen that today. He's on about 200. He's on about 200 a week. I think he's looking for about 3. And do you know the thing about it is, I think he'll sign at the end of this window. I think this will be the big signing in this window. This will be this signing, and then they'll try to do something big in the summer. I think that's what they'll do. I'll say they'll sign him in the next 2 weeks. It's just building. I thought they would have done it before Christmas, to be fair.
Yeah.
As you say, it's just dragging on. It's silly. It's why you're letting it. Why are you dragging it?
And what does that say? What does that say to other? Listen, we're not a marquee signing football club, haven't been for fucking years, to be honest with you. But what does that say to other prospects out there? In terms of how we look after our players and how we reward our players.
But I get. But again, the other side of it, and Keith, you'll know from business that this could just be negotiations. There could be just back and forth, or somebody's not available, or there's one line in a contract, a clause that says something
6
in
months.
his rights. Oh, I know, but he still has 18 months on his contract. You know what I mean? So this is natural. Do you know what I mean?
But Ivan, when it gets down to the last year on a contract,
totally.
the player has all the power, don't they? I've only a year left here, lads. Totally. Give me double the money or I'm gone,
and
baby.
He's saying all the right things to the media as well about him wanting to stay and it's out of my hands and all that kind of stuff. So he knows exactly. He's not dumb, right?
Yeah.
I just think there'd be uproar if he doesn't sign. There'll be uproar.
It wouldn't go down well. Let's put it that way. It has to be done. There's just it's a no-brainer. Actually, Egypt lost 1-0 today by Nigeria. He might be home. He might be home early. You never know. But there's a lot of people in here.
They should probably still get out of that group. Looking at the other 2 teams in it.
Yeah, they will. They will get out of it. But mightn't win it. That mightn't help. John Moore, Killian Kenny, Liz Golden. Who else have we got? Domestic Butler. I know that's Carl, of course. Eamon Kelly, Jay, Mawatz, the Mosalah lover. Who else have we got? Alan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Alan Milke, is it? From maybe German name or something. Is it Alan Milke? First time in. Fair play to Al. Hit the like button, baby. Paul owns Ravi. Who else have we got? 1892 Reds podcast. Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. John Moore. Yeah, look, I think we're going to move on to let's hope and dream he signs as soon as possible. Actually, Elliot's due back soon as well, actually, apparently. I think another week or 2 he might be back. So there's a sign for January. There's a midfield signing for January. You know what I mean? They'll make a big deal out of that.
Yeah, but the other thing is, they've pulled these 5 or 6 or 7 players out of the academy for this game of the last weekend. There's still others there. There's the kid who did the corner taken quickly with, I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
the Polish kid.
There's
the Polish kid,
the striker,
Mosalah.
The man Dixon Bonner who played at the weekend. He's a smashing footballer as well. And I just wonder, I'd be surprised to see what the team is on Thursday, because I think there'll be some more of them in there.
No, but as you said, it's like a meat grinder. You put the meat in, only small bits come. It is so hard to make it into Liverpool, say 15 or 16, and be there for a few years. It's, you know what I mean?
And it's not just football. It's character and personality and aptitude.
It's peer groups,
and application.
keep friend, family get involved, your girlfriend, everything. It's huge.
Yeah, but you can't introduce 3 or 4 academy players into the first team squad,
No. Well, you did. Remember the famous Alan Hansen thing? You don't win with kids. Do you remember that?
Different scenario, to be honest with you.
It was back in the 90s, I know, but
yeah, and the league was nothing like the way it is now, to be honest with you. It was generally wasn't as professional as it is now, to be honest with you. It'd be very difficult to bring through 4 players, throw them in, expect them to to fill the boots of well-established, seasoned professionals. So listen, I'm all for bringing players through. For nothing else, even Chelsea have been doing it for years in terms of making sure your academy is shit hot, and then selling players on, bringing players in, bringing them through the academy and selling them on. It's a business. It's almost a secondary business.
Yeah.
So
and they've done well, although they've sold 3 or 4. They probably shouldn't have sold.
That's the meat grinder there, to be honest with you. Where they're just plowing through lads and just bringing them through and educating them the way of football and then selling them on to other clubs. So, yes, listen, we're all of the same impression here that we're well past our sell by date in terms of investment in the squad, right? So we're way past that now at this stage.
I know. My problem is we've wasted 2 windows. I know you have a congestion coming up. If this is another window wasted, it just prolongs the big window of the summer. Everybody's thought about the window that you'd have to sign 3 absolute you'd have to sign 3 starters basically to fill the window. You know what I mean? Rather than buying one every window.
What's the window going to be like in the summer with a World Cup coming on the tail end of the year? What's that going to do to the dynamic of the window? Exactly. Players kind of going, I don't really want to move now at the moment because I've got a good chance now of making the World Cup squad. I moved there and I'm on the bench for 3 or 4 weeks. All of a sudden I don't make the cut. So I think that's going to be a more difficult market than the market is now, to be honest with you, to start making investments. And you know what? That's probably what's going to be thrown at us. It's a difficult market with the World Cup, and we blame the World Cup. And
You're so pessimistic.
What?
You're so pessimistic. Yeah.
Do you ever
I wasn't normally like this. I've just really got like this over the last 6 months. I'm fucking annoyed now. I'm annoyed.
No, it is like it unfortunately it reeks of previous tenures under other owners where we didn't get anybody, and like the fact that we're not hearing anything, do you know what I mean? And with Michael Edwards gone at the end of the year, there's a whole heap of stuff there.
We probably spent more in the 90s when we were absolute fucking pony, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right, we threw a lot of fucking money around the place, you know.
No, we all know Klopp likes a little tight squad. We know that. He fucking, it's like a little family. He likes that family group. If you have an outsider coming in, you really have to, if you fuck that group up, like Sacco did, like the people like that, you're gone. There's no even second chance. You are finito. You're sold next week, or you're dropped down into the train on your own. So I think he's just so fickle on who he wants. There's a lot of talk about your man Luis Diaz. He's a proper player. Rafinha as well. I just can't see us spend a huge money in January. I know we've done it with likes of VVD, but it's rare. It is rare. It is rare. I can't see us doing it. But we'll move on.
If the asking price is 60 for Diaz, it's too expensive, to be honest with you.
He is good, though.
I do think if we brought in another wide player, of decent enough quality, we could potentially look at shifting the formation. I know we've toyed around with a 4-2-3-1. I know we made the point a little bit earlier on, but it's never kind of worked, and it's never kind of worked because it's just happened once or twice, and maybe it hasn't worked out. And we've just sunsetted it and gone back to the way we always play. But with that whole area is under threat at the moment. We've got an issue now with Thiago, which looks like it's going to be into February. A lot of games, probably tail end of February before he's back. Fabinho could easily pick up another injury, to be honest with you. He seems to do that a couple of times during the season. Henderson's not getting any younger. And then we're looking at Milner Jones is back in, but I don't think he's disciplined enough to play in that position, at the moment. So we've got a problem there. So, if we brought in a player like that, to add a bit of competition, a bit of rotations around, you can then start looking at Bobby or Joshua playing in that 9 position with the 3 boys across the middle there, right? Or maybe drop Bobby back into the front of that diamond, play anybody. You could even play Salah through the middle, depending on who's available. And it gives you so many more options in terms of the personnel that we have at the moment. So I'm just wondering whether we should be looking at something like that, to be honest with you, just based around on the existing personnel that we have available. It also gives us a little bit more cover, maybe, I suppose, as well, in terms of... You
never know. Something might just get pulled out of the hat. Yeah, it's still early. I mean, we've got to the end of the month, but...
Like, we're not as solid at the centre-half positions, right, as we were when we went and ran the league, right, with the 2 boys going forward. So we're not... Whether it's teams have figured out different ways of playing around that, or a degree of targeting specifically on Trent's side when he goes forward. But the way we played the year we won the league, and indeed up to that point in time where we effectively squeezed teams in, but we were so good with the 2 boys at the back playing 2 against 2, and they were getting us out of so much or catching offsides. We seem to be getting caught out a lot more this season. And we're getting penalised and we're getting punished a lot more this season.
I think Van Dijk certainly isn't back to his best by any stretch. Now, he was in some great 1v1s of the weekend, and
some of his positional play just seems to switch off a little bit.
And I think that point, and it's odd. What I don't understand, like normally in a 2 with 2 centre backs, you've got one who, particularly when most teams now are playing with 1 up front, right?
Yeah.
1 marks and 1 sweeps.
Yeah.
And we do that at under 16, right?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is the 2 boys are both seem to be marking, so nobody's sweeping, and that's odd when, like, if one person's going, by default the other one should be covering for them. And that goal that we conceded last week, the Chelsea goal.
Well, the midfield was bad last week, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but the midfield didn't help.
But I think Van Dijk could easily have gotten over. Like, he saw his buddy was out of position or his buddy was caught. He has the pace to get over, but still he's just defending kind of his space rather than coming across to cover. So the other thing, Konate looks to me to be a little bit, not sure what the right word, a little bit kind of bumbly on the ball. Do you know what I mean? He's
a big unit, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I think he just awkward.
I think he needs game time, to be honest with you. I think throwing him in now and again is no good for him. I think he needs to be playing.
He needs a run. He needs a run again.
He needs a run, and he needs to develop partnerships. But you're right, Ivan. If we don't play with the intensity around the middle of the park to close down and to stop players getting the head ups and playing decent balls in behind us, that system will always be subject, to being turned over. And then we're relying on an offside decision. We're relying on the keeper to come out and sweep, or relying on the two boys. And if they're slightly off, it's coming in again and again and again, right? And predominantly down Trent's side, because as good as Trent is going forward, his powers of recovery from a defensive perspective, he's not blessed with absolute pace. He's a proper workhorse. He's got a proper engine. He's not blessed with pace from a recovery perspective. So if he gets turned higher up the pitch, it takes him a long time to get back. He's nowhere near as fast as Robbo to recover. And that's obviously been highlighted, and it's happening again and again and again. And when we don't have Henderson playing on the right-hand side to cover that, as you said earlier on, we are ripe for it. We're absolutely ripe for it. And again, should we not be looking at personnel to come in? Not for Trent's perspective, but certainly somebody to pop in on the right-hand side, because it's an issue for us when Henderson is out. There's nobody really else who can fill in that position on the right-hand side from a midfield perspective.
And not only defensively, Keith, like we've talked before, like what Henderson gives you there on the right, when you've got Trent and Salah, and they want to go inside all the time. And you're looking at Trent now has almost ended up in a number 10 position, even on the left-hand side. Sometimes he goes that far forward. Henderson just gives you that balance. He's happy to go on the outside, rather than just everything kind of coming in centrally. And obviously defensively, that cover as well, where he just naturally knows to sit back when Trent bombs on.
Yeah,
but you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Just as Eamon says there, we miss Ginny, and I tell you why we miss his ability to control the football. To be honest with you, we're listen. This is just purely back off the games I've seen recently, pretty much since October, certainly right through to now, is that we're pretty much back to basketball football, to be honest with you. It's attack, we're defending, it's attack, we're defending. Outside of playing against teams who are sitting in 4-on-4, whatever, right? But that's it, right? We don't seem to have, in a tight, game like we did against City or against Chelsea, against our peers in that particular league. We're not retaining the football, and we're particularly not retaining the football, when we're in a winning position. So the amount of times we're coughing up possession, to be honest with you, we're either still going for that third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh goal, right? When we're 2-1 up, 3-1 up, whatever else it is, somebody putting their foot in the ball in midfield and taking the absolute sting out of the game for 10 minutes.
I think the stats are we've been ahead 20 times and we've won 13. City have been ahead 20 times and they've won 20 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a damning. And when we won the league, the year we won the league, when we went in front, whether it was 1-0, we knew that was it. We were going to close the game down and retain possession. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We've nobody in the middle of the park. When Thiago was out, to be honest with you, I don't know how many. He's been available for 8 out of 20 games so far, something like that. When he's not available, there's no one putting their foot on the football, to be honest with you. And even when he's on the football, he's trying to get the ball forward. It's almost like it's, the instruction is score more, score more, score more, whereas in those kind of positions, to manage the game out, take 10 minutes out of the game just by passing the football, getting them back out, bringing teams out, and then maybe look for it. We're going too fast, too forward, too often, churning over possession time and time and time again, and we're putting pressure. We're putting pressure on the back four. The two boys that's wide continue to bomb on. There's no protection there. Like we could literally just sit in, to be honest with you, allow the three boys to counterattack and give them more space.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And that's what we should be doing. We should be by slowing it down, you're drawing the opposition out. You're not asking the three boys to come back at all. They're your counterattack. when one of the opposition bombs on too much, or two of them go and open a space. No, you're right. You've been saying that for weeks before Christmas as well. It's gone back to basketball, unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll move on to the game Thursday night. Of course, the semi-final. Liverpool, we're at home this time, so it's Liverpool, Arsenal. Here's a chance for a cup, guys. Here's a chance for a Carabao Cup. I mean, it won't be easy. Double semi against Arsenal. Arsenal are hot and cold at the moment. Just don't know what to expect from them. I know they'd half a team out the weekend as well. They got beaten by Forest, so all their eggs are probably going into the basket here, because this is probably the only chance of them winning anything, to be really fair, isn't it? I mean,
Forest is probably on for them, but
you have an outside chance. They have an outside chance. Yeah.
Spurs for fourth.
You think so? Spurs?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe. But what do you think? So, I mean, it's hard even to pick. Nostradamus couldn't even pick a team for fucking Thursday night for Liverpool. I think the
Shrewsbury game shows us that we'll go a little bit stronger, to be honest with you, and we'll definitely need to go stronger through the spine.
We'll have to go stronger, I think. Or we're going to
lose but what I mean by that is we went very strong across the back, with one of our, I suppose, holding midfielders sitting in there. So we were, from a defensive perspective, we went quite strong, right, up to CDM, right? And then after that, then it was just a mixed bag of different players. What I mean by the spine is, I fully expect us to be solid across the back, two decent centre halves. I think we'll be strong in midfield, and then maybe a mixed match up front, to be honest with you, thrown into the mix.
Well, Jota and Bobby be okay. So who else goes up there?
I think we can, to be honest with you. Probably keep Kelleher in goal, in the cup competition, to be honest with you. And then
maybe
strong across the back, stronger in midfield than we were, Henderson, Fabinho, maybe Jones, maybe Ox.
You could play Ox up front, though, couldn't you, with Jota and with Bobby, and play maybe Jones, as you said. You
could do. So I'm probably thinking about something like that based on what we saw the weekend.
Yeah. I think we'll have to go strong. I think we'll have to go strong. I think we'll have to go strong to get. We sort of need some sort of a result. You'll need a win, I think, going to the Emirates the following week, because it's sandwiched in between a game at Anfield again on Sunday against Brentford, which won't be easy either. I mean, you see what happened to 3-3 recently, but so we've games coming up. I think it's important, a little sandwich of 3 games here. A final still. I know. Listen, we all give up at the League Cup. It's Mickey Mouse. It is a Mickey Mouse Cup, but when you're in the semi, I think you want to win it. If you get to the semi, you want to win it. You want to win it at semi level.
Absolutely, absolutely want to win it. Important.
And it looks like it could be Chelsea. I think they're winning 2-0 the first leg against Spurs, but you never know. It looks like it could be Chelsea. So, Ivan, what would you do? We obviously go strong Thursday, but how strong can you go?
No, obviously there's an eye on the Brentford game at the weekend, because, as I said, I still, while it's City's to lose, I don't think we're out of it. I still think there's probably one more to come out of the academy, or from the academy, to maybe get a chance. I think Keith's probably right. We've options now at the back, with Tsimikas and Nico Williams and Bradley there as well. He could give Trent a rest, I don't know, and have one of them in there. And then it's really what way he mixes it up. I like Keith's idea of playing the 4-2-3-1. That's something I have thinking in my head now.
Who plays the one? Who plays the one? Origi's still injured, isn't he?
You've Minamino as well, who hasn't been doing too bad. You've got Bobby in there.
He's a great record in this competition. He's scored in every round, hasn't he? Pretty much.
I think Minamino's a good chance of starting actually Thursday.
Yeah.
So I think we have, as we said, we've 16 or 17 now. I don't think you'll see a fully set back 5 and midfield. I think there'll be one or two of the younger lads in there who I don't know. But he'll want to win it. It's a semi-final, absolutely. A semi-final at home, absolutely want to win it.
Yeah, it's always put. It's always worked very well for City. They've always pushed on from winning that. To be honest with you, okay, not in the Champions League, obviously, but in terms of the league, they've always been thereabouts. I think it gives the club a lift. I think it gives the players a lift.
Think of the kids, do you know what I mean? And going over to the San Siro, playing there, 6 wins. An early trophy, they must be thinking, "Jeepers, this is incredible." We're still in the Champions League, and we've whilst it's an outside chance, we're still second in the league, and it's possible. They'll get huge confidence from that.
Yeah, no, I just think it's, to be honest, if we got to the final, if it was Chelsea or Spurs or whatever, obviously they're London clubs, so it'll be Liverpool coming down to Wembley. That'd be a nice little final to go to, wouldn't it, in London? That'd be one, it'd be hard to get a ticket, but that'd be one to certainly look at, wouldn't it? And end of February, I think it is. End of Feb. But so obviously then we're not going to go too far ahead because obviously Arsenal is the game, and then it looks the game at Anfield again, Brentford, and then we've got Thursday again.
And what's the next league game after that, Dave? Do we know?
Is it Southampton? Hold on. I think it's Southampton. Could be wrong. But I have it here on the screen. Fucking so many games. It's just Crystal Palace away. So Palace away on the Sunday. So it's Thursday, Sunday, and then back to the FA Cup. So there's a bit of a gap then to the FA Cup.
Could have been a lot worse with the boys away, couldn't it?
Could have been worse.
Much worse. Could have been much worse.
So, Brentford Palace sandwiched between the two semis.
And I think we've got a nice break. It's the 5 days there between Sunday and Thursday.
Decent enough. I think he'll go strong Thursday. I really do. I mean, why not go strong Thursday? It builds the momentum going into the Sunday game. If you act the bollocks on Thursday night and even draw to go to the Emirates, having to win, it won't be easy. I still think Liverpool are a better team than Arsenal, but it won't. You want to make it as easy as possible by getting a 2-1 or a 3-0 or a 3-1 win.
And Sunday won't be easy. Those two boys up
That's
front.
what I mean.
Now I know Mambuebo or whatever his name is. I think he's injured, but they're still playing with the two.
Ivan Toney is up front,
and the other fellow up front, and they caused us all kinds of problems playing the two up there. We were literally all over the shop playing against them. So
they've got really tall defenders, to be honest with you. So in terms of delivery into the box is generally quite good, and they cause all sorts of trouble. We typically, I suppose, have struggled against teams who play that kind of stuff. They get the ball in nice and early into the box. They play some nice football at times, but from set pieces, they're going to be dangerous to us, to be honest with you. And
we haven't been good from set pieces. That's the fucking problem, isn't it? We haven't been good.
Both ends. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Some of our corner kicks.
Some of our deliveries is absolutely.
Have we scored a goal with a corner kick recently? I know we had a great record up until recently, but some of the corners hadn't even beaten the first man.
Not exactly. They're not beating the first man.
What is going on?
And when you think the players in there that have such a good delivery, Trent, Tsimikas, even the likes of Milner's got a good delivery. It's been really, really poor.
Yeah. But I know there's been a lot of crap on Twitter in the last, few days since the game was called off last week between Arsenal. It was meant to be at the Emirates first and we were at Anfield second, but it got switched. And a lot of fumes, whatever you want to call it, on Twitter about Liverpool. And then Klopp came out with the false positive comment, that there was half the team out injured, the other half were false positive or whatever. But, I mean, look at Leicester. I think Leicester called off, was it tonight's game against Everton? I think it was. Some games called off. Leicester called it off because he couldn't field the team. And their Leicester fans were giving out as well. So, I mean...
Well, we had an independent company come in and do those tests.
Yeah, it's not Liverpool. Yeah.
Nothing to do with Liverpool.
And our lads weren't at the darts. Do you know what I mean? And there was absolutely nothing said about that.
That's just incredible.
Incredible.
They have to live their life as well, I suppose. Listen,
to be honest with you, there seems to be a huge amount of fume around the place over us now at the moment.
There's fume everywhere. It's a real anti-Liverpool thing, isn't it? It's got
huge,
really. I think it's got huge.
Never really experienced it from other sets of fans. Obviously, with United and Chelsea and City.
Yeah, like Leicester. I'm getting a few Leicester mates on Twitter and stuff, and getting a lot of little funny Arsenal fan circle are saying that there's loads.
Well, they're just trying to maintain a degree of relevancy. That's all they're trying to fucking do.
But you know what I mean? It is. Exactly.
What we should be doing, we should be absolutely circling the wagons, and we should be creating a degree of a siege mentality. United did it in the 90s. That's what they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Ferguson just creates a siege mentality. Everybody hates us. Nobody likes us. And we'll just go with that, and we'll go win everything. Yeah. That's it. So,
and what I like, I hate the chanting. But I think it's absolutely right, and I think every Liverpool fan should be calling people out for anybody talking about food banks, people out of work, people not eating. For me, and I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago, it's exactly the same as tweeting about Munich or Hillsborough or anything else.
Yeah.
These are people's lives, and joking about children not having food to eat, not on.
Unbelievable shit. Unbelievable. I know. There was something else. I think it was Everton or Brighton. Brighton, I think, were the latest team to stand by Liverpool. Was it Brighton?
Brighton and Everton.
I think Everton came in as well, of course.
Yeah. And even that, like the law itself, a law to enforce the police to tell the truth. Just rock your head around that. Like, do you know what I mean? It's absolutely incredible.
Oh, look, it's crazy what's going on in politics and stuff at the moment, isn't it? I mean, we're living in a crazy times, to be honest. And to be fair, the last 18 months, 20 months, whatever you want to say, is just been just surreal. We look back and hopefully look back at it and say, what the hell was that all about? And we couldn't even celebrate winning the bloody league after 30 years. Right at the start. Right at the fucking start. Killing me. Fucking killing me. Yeah, but the Arsenal fans, listen, as you say, it's relevance. I think it's relevance on Twitter, and it's relevance on these other clubs. That's when you know you're a big club, and the other clubs are attacking you. That's when you know.
Totally.
United got a lot of it in the 90s. You know, all the big clubs get it. That's when you know. That's when you know you.
And I think even like I'm not sure. Did you see the start of the United game? Like it's the club or anybody who has ever even been loosely associated with the club. Stevie walking out at Old Trafford last night.
Looking back.
Whatever sound they did on the BBC, they blocked out the sound. But if you saw the clip on Twitter, they were singing the Gerrard song at the top of their voices. And to see him just turn around, put the couple of chewing gums in his mouth and look at them, it was incredible.
He knew what he was doing. He knew
totally.
He's a bollocks.
And they got absolutely mugged by the officials.
Mugged.
I tell you what, Villa were a better team last night.
Yeah, I think they'll beat them at the weekend now.
I hope so. But I mean, like United, I just think they're. I don't know what your man ran you. He came from Lokomotiv fucking Moscow, so I think it's a lot of hype around him too.
But they need to stop talking about the coach. They've changed the coach now. How many times? 15 times or something. Do you know what I mean? Something stupid. What's the story with the players? When are the players going to be questioned? When are they?
I think Ronaldo was the big mistake there. You're bringing in a fucking fella right near the end. Now he is a brilliant. Listen, we wouldn't deny he'll still do a job for them at 36. But he's the main man at 36. That's the problem, isn't it?
That is
and you've all the younger guys. Look at Rashford. Look at even Fernandes. It's just dipped. Those boys have just fucking dipped. Even Greenwood. They've all dipped since he came in. You know, and that's the issue. That's the risk, I think, with bringing in. That's why Klopp would never do that. He'd never bring in a big. That's why the likes of Mbappe was never a starter for me with Liverpool. It was never a starter. Even if we had the money to buy him, he would never come in because his influence, he's more interested in his TikTok dances. I know Ox does them as well, but he's not that good at dancing. So, you know that type of thing. He's more interested in Instagram, TikTok.
Totally, yeah.
I know it's the modern day footballers, but Klopp doesn't like fucking that. You know what I mean? So guys,
shouldn't be a reason not to sign some players though. You know, like
no, but he could be
any player.
Don't like him. He's a big time Charlie, so I'm not signing him. You know, so no, sorry, big time Charlie. No, sorry. Let's just bring through the academy players.
That's true. No, I'm happy with FSG. Just keep the windows closed. Relax, it's grand. We're doing well. So tomorrow night, Thursday night. You think we'll beat Arsenal Thursday night? First leg.
I think we beat them over 2 legs. To be honest with you, I think we should be strong enough over 2 legs to get through. I think Thursday could be a tight affair, to be honest with you. You know, we're going to have a bit of a mixed bag out.
You don't want to win or lose the tie in the first leg, do you?
No, I don't think we will.
Preferably win it. But
they'll still give us a chance at home as well, to be honest with you. They're not that good at home, to be honest with you. They've got a far better record now recently, to be honest with you. Very unlucky against City, the way they played. Not to get something from the ground. You know, from that game.
Again, leaving out the star man and they've won 5 out of 6, I think, since they've dropped.
He's another disruptor. That one is gold Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Stop. You know, so that's the problem.
We have a great record at Anfield against them, to be honest with you. You know, listen, I hope it's a good crowd. You know, it's an evening kickoff, boisterous crowd. You know, few bevs on board. Nice, great atmosphere. Get the lads up and at it. And if we can do that, it is a semi-final ultimately. You know, in a cup competition. We may be too strong in the night, but listen, we've been saying that over a couple of times, and you know we haven't been blowing anybody away really, to be honest with you. You know, so I think it might be tight enough, but I think we'll go through over 2 legs. Yeah,
absolutely. Ivan, same.
I'd say but I think we'll win probably 2-1, 3-1 on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1.
And I back it to go through.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think we can talk about Brentford. It's too bloody far away. It's not till Sunday. And that's going to be another tough game. Eamon Kelly's going 2-1 Reds. John Moore, Ox to get a hat-trick. That would be nice. That would be against the whole team. Another fab brace, says Liz Golden. Guys, I think we leave it there. I enjoyed that. We're back.
Great to be back.
Three amigos are back. It's absolutely been great. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Hit the like, hit the share. It's been great. As I say, a lot more content to come, a lot more stuff to come. Let's hope the Reds get a good first leg lead Thursday night. Then we move on to Sunday against Brentford as well. Thanks to Keith. Thanks to Ivan. Thanks to everybody. Stay safe, guys. Talk to you soon. This